The last time I posted a handle pulling video, you folks spent almost 3 years watching it. Pulling is how us potters refer to this process. It's when you stretch a piece of clay out using nothing but your wetted hand. And I start by pulling a purposefully long and thick length of clay that's then snipped off into smaller lengths. Each one of these will be attached to a cup that's been thrown from 300 grams of clay. These are already quite thin vessels, but to make them even lighter and to neaten them up further, each one has its walls and base trimmed. The fact that their walls are so thin certainly makes the handling process trickier, as when this stub of clay is pressed against the cup, it can bow those walls inward if not done carefully. These flared out blanks are held and sort of wiggled in place against the scored and slipped section on the cup, with one hand kept crucially inside to brace the wall itself so that it doesn't distort and bow inward. The handle blanks are kept soft and they're attached immediately to the cup. This way, when the stoneware is pulled and stretched again, it's both easy to blend into the cup and it's also more plastic to work, which helps me to create a nice curved shape. Once this length is long enough, I make sure its sides are smooth and not too scruffy. Then I grasp the handle from the bottom and gently let it arch downward. Any excess is snipped away and I smear the clay firmly into the bottom, and I make any minor adjustments if need be. As I've just attached very soft clay to leather hard clay, I dry them slowly under plastic overnight, and then the following day the bottoms of each of them are turned again to get rid of this runover, together with a second burnishing of the base to clean over any burrs of clay or scratches that are often left in the surface during the handling process. It's then stamped with my maker's mark. And lastly, I press the pot down onto the chuck to make sure it has a round opening. The next step is letting these dry very slowly beneath plastic for a week or two, whereafter they can be packed into my electric kiln for a biscuit firing to 1000 degrees Celsius. This turns soft, recyclable clay into much harder and now absorbent ceramic. A thin layer of wax is brushed onto their undersides, as this will stop the water present in the glaze being absorbed by the base, and therefore a layer of glaze won't stick onto it, although there's always a few drips that cling on. 24 hours later, once the glaze has dried out, the tongue marks can be wiped over and its underside is sponged clean. Finally, the cups can be packed into my Roda KG340 gas kiln, wherein they're reduction fired to cone 10 over a 9-hour period. This changes that powdery layer of raw materials that cover their outsides into a veneer of glass. The pinks and reds now turned into greens and blues as the red iron oxide was chemically altered in the kiln. The absolute final step is sanding smooth their bases, whereupon the mugs are, at last, finished.